Former President Gerald Ford once complained, "So much of what passes for public life consists of little more than candidates without ideas hiring consultants without conviction to stage campaigns without content. The result, increasingly, is elections without voters." There's a lot to unpack here, but let's begin with the last part. Elections without voters. That's part of the goal. Having fewer people vote amplifies the power of those who do vote. Making a person so disgusted that they don't even show up on election day can help a candidate's chance of winning. You not voting for one guy is almost as good as a vote for a candidate. The candidates without ideas, staging campaigns without content, are a function of who is able to run. The United States doesn't elect people with compelling ideas because there are very few people with ideas who also have the most important trait a person needs to run: access to money. Everyone who runs for office in this country needs to have their own cash, or that rare rain-making ability to convince people with cash to hand it over. It also helps if you have the ability to take lots of time off from your job to campaign. The most important idea you can have as a modern candidate is, "I know how to serve the interests of people who are willing to give me money to get elected." Campaigning requires money, and because of the logic of winner take all and the security of incumbency, the money mostly follows the winners. The common perception is that money buys elections, but a study by the Center for Voting and Democracy suggests district partisanship and the seniority of the candidate, how long they've been getting reelected, had more predictive value than disparities in campaign war chests. To the victors go the spoils, in the form of generous campaign donations. Political investors are responding to high incumbent rates, not causing them. As we've been discussing in recent posts, donors are betting on the winners because gerrymandering telegraphs an election's results well ahead of time. Winners get more money because donors know who's going to win. Political investors are paying for access, not necessarily buying election results. Winner take all often also means that the winner takes all the campaign money. You can see how willing both major parties are to accept this predictability by the number of uncontested elections. 30 U.S. House members and 1 U.S. Senator won unopposed contests in 2014. These are elections where the other party didn't bother putting up any fight at all. One presumes that the end result was so clear from the outset that the opposition decided it was pointless to fight. These numbers ebb and flow from one election to the next. In the 1998 midterm, 17 of 23 Florida House seats went unopposed, and the state delegation had a 100% re-election rate. I don't know about you, but that seems wildly high. At the state level, it's even more grotesque. In 2016, for example, out of 4,700 state, House, and Assembly seats up for election, 42% won unchallenged, 998 Democrats and 963 Republicans. Having only two options is bad enough, but for millions of Americans voting for state representatives, they have no choice. If you don't support the winning side, you don't even have an option to vote no. How could anyone support this kind of monopoly politics? And while it's disgusting that so many Americans effectively have zero choice when election day comes around, it's also possible to see this as a huge opportunity. The major parties' complacency and cartelism are actually leaving a pretty large opening for an enterprising upstart to jump in and shake things up. We could catch them with their pants down, if you hear what I'm saying. Neither major party is willing to seriously engage the public on economic issues. There's a lot more agreement out there than anybody wants us to realize. Just keep that in the back of your noggin as we move forward. In the meantime, give us a like, follow, favorite, and subscribe to my free Substack. Let's make them pay.